Yeah. What? Say something. The fuck?
I thought you were gonna run it.
I told you to fucking run the intro.
Oh my god!
Welcome to For the Geeks podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Chris Seger. This is my co-host, idiot cousin, Jonathan Miranda. We are here, July 5th, 2025, episode 37.
Happy
we're
Revenge
back.
of the 5th, everybody.
Yeah, no. That was back in May, but it should be Revenge of the 6th because it's closer to Sith, the word. Anyway, point is we're back after a 3-week break again. It's hot as fuck outside, so I have my light off. I just have the browser illuminating my face and what have you. Yesterday was 4th of July. Bam, I took some cool toy photos with awesome fireworks in my backyard that I scared my neighbor's dogs, which is great because I fucking hate them. They're too noisy. But yeah, what have you been up to, sleepyhead cousin?
It's been a long couple weeks. I've been doing a lot, actually. Catching up on some Final Fantasy 14.
Okay, where you at now?
I am towards the end of Heavensward, but
You're still there?
I stopped running my main class, and I started building up a paladin, so I can have 2 classes to run at a time.
Now you can solo the entire game.
That way, I don't have to sit and wait for people to join queues. It's been all right. What happened?
No, I'm just saying, how are you still there? You were there 3 weeks ago, and you're like, I'm going to start Stormblood soon, and you're still there.
I've been doing a lot of stuff.
Oh my god. What, just side questing and shit? Collecting glamour?
Been going back and forth with Elden Ring Night Rain.
Oh,
we
fair
just
enough.
beat the new boss that came out this week, so that was fun.
Oh, cool.
Also picked up the Pokemon trading card game Pocket.
Oh god, everyone.
So
me,
Brooks, and Jack have been playing that the last couple of days. It's super addictive and it's so terrifying. I desperately want to spend money on the game so I can buy more packs. It's ridiculous. I'm trying not to.
Don't. You're gonna be poor.
I might.
You don't want to be poor like me.
What else? What else have I done? There was another thing. I started Expedition 33 finally.
Oh, congrats.
I am very much enjoying it. I do try to stream it when I play it. That way I can have some record that I did it. I can actually say I did it.
Yeah.
But it's really good so far. The system for combat and the story itself is just super unique for me. It definitely feels like I'm stepping into a modern era kind of Final Fantasy 7 or something like that.
That's good.
Something that really something that's going to change the landscape of RPGs in general, especially
I
Western
hope
ones.
so.
Well,
I
mean, I guess technically it's Western, but I don't know.
It's Eastern.
Technically it's Eastern for us, but
yeah,
you know how that goes. What else? I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff. I got Final Fantasy 16, so I have that ready to go in the chamber once I finish. I almost said Everwild. Once I finish Expedition 33. Sorry, I was like, I looked over and saw the thing on my side.
Canceled.
Yeah.
The game, not us.
Seriously.
Rip. I didn't even know it existed. But anyway,
I knew about it, but I didn't know a lot about it. That's the thing, and we'll get into that later once we start actually like getting into the news. But yeah, I've been hanging out doing fun stuff with all that. I've got a very nice EV deck in Pokemon, and then just work and life and stuff. A little bit of travel back and forth between California and here, so been tired lately. Doing a lot of things on the weekends.
Tiring being social.
And then today I had to work double shifts, so I'm just super tired. Oh, but how about you, man? What have you been up to?
Well, I got some new figs. I got this really cool. This is probably my favorite Superman figure. This is his cape is in the box, but this is from the Dark Knight Returns story. So for those of you people that don't know that story, that's what Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice should have been. It's basically it's in the future towards the end of Batman's years. He's an old man, and he's called back. He was retired, but he's called back to being Batman because crime is getting out of control. And he's a lot more violent than he used to be. And Superman is called in by the U.S. government to rein him in because Batman seems to be going off the rails. They fight each other. Batman has like his suit of armor. I'm not going to spoil the rest of it, but it's probably my favorite story out of the DC animated universe movies, next to Justice League Dark, Justice League Dark Apocalypse, all of those great stories.
Classic Frank Miller right there.
Yeah, but I remember I watched, there's two parts, the Dark Knight Returns part 1 and 2. I watched part 2. I was sleepy as hell. We were at Justin, our mutual friend Justin's house when he lived in California. And I was sleeping. I was on the couch, tired as fuck, and he just puts the movie on. I was able to like stay up and watch all of it. But it was just amazing. Like I really wish that was filmed instead of what we got for Dawn of Justice. That movie was mid. It was better than I thought it would be, but it was still not great. I give that movie like a 7. But and my other figure,
higher review than most people gave it.
Because I like DC. And this one, I have the best boy figure from Demon Slayer, Rengoku. I'm waiting for Akaza to come through in the next couple months so I can take some battle shots with them and some cool explosion effects that I have planned and whatever. The hardest part is going to be I have to hand paint all of the breathing style stuff because there's no way in fuck I'm going to be able to replicate that through my particle systems that I use, or nobody makes pre-made stuff like that. So I have to learn how to paint that by hand in Photoshop. Shouldn't be too hard. I've been on an anime binge since I finished Daredevil Born Again. So I started with Gurren Lagann for the first time. Yeah, I know. People who listen to this, they're like, what, you haven't seen it? It is,
yeah, but it's a great
top fucking 10, probably top 5 anime. This anime, it's only 27 episodes. Then there's like 2 movies that add a little bit more detail. The last one came out a year ago. In the States, it came out in Japan like years ago. But it's made by the predecessor studio, Gainax or something. They're still around, to Studio Trigger. And Studio Trigger, for those of you who don't know, makes Cyberpunk Edge Runners with Netflix, as well as Kill la Kill and Promare, and even Star Wars Visions, the Twins episode. They're really good at making exaggerated animation and original story. Darling in the Franxx as well. They're really good with original story that's not based on manga, so they can just animate the shit out of it, which is good. Their soundtracks are great. But more to the point, Gurren Lagann is an example of why I love anime. It's just over the top, ridiculous, doesn't make any sense, crazy shit, and very motivating and inspiring. Pierce the heavens with your drill and all that good shit. I loved that fucking anime. And then right after that, yesterday I just finished Konosuba season 3 and the movie that came out before season 3. Hilarious.
So good.
God,
such a good movie.
Main character is the most shameless anime character I've ever seen, and I fucking love it because I'm dying of laughter every fucking episode, and I can't wait for season 4 because this is one of the funniest anime I've ever seen. It's an isekai, but it's a comedic isekai, and it's the best. And now I'm watching season 2 of The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You, which is it's a harem anime that the main character, he goes to like a shrine to pray for having true love, and the god who watches over the shrine made a mistake. Instead of giving him his destined one true love, he's granted 100 girlfriends that he has to find, because once he locks eyes with a girl of the week episode, kind of like Monster of the Week. He has to make her his girlfriend, otherwise she dies within a certain time limit. So he's collecting a harem, basically. It's fucking ridiculous and funny as hell. I needed some lulz anime after a motivating anime. I don't know what I'm going to watch after this. Probably Heavenly Delusion, because somebody recommended that to me and said it was good. And then I'll continue with Windbreaker Season 2 because I love that shit.
Nice.
Speaking of anime, I'm unfortunately not an anime expo this year. It is happening as we speak.
It is. Indeed.
I wasn't
Lots
there
of
this
cool
year.
stuff popping out of there right now.
Which we'll mention later. But I did not get to go because I spent $3,000 fixing like 8 cavities in my fucking teeth and learning that I have to get a root canal in 5 years. So that's fun. I will go next year for sure when I'm slimmer, so I can wear some cool outfits and shit. And I learned that I'd love to cosplay 2 characters, even though I'm not their same height or don't look exactly like them. One is Ichiban Kazuga, because I can nail his personality. All I have to do is say, check this shit out all the time and carry around a lightning bat. Or I can be the dumbass martial artist master, Hercule Satan, because he's fucking funny. And I love that character because he's ridiculous. I just have to get beefy and draw chest hair with Sharpie because I don't have any. And let's see, what else did I do?
The first one I was like, okay, that's cool. The second one I was like,
I like Hercule. He's funny. Yeah, he's 6'2". I'm not 6'2".
He's funny. He's great, but I just, doesn't seem like the kind of character you would ever like cosplay as.
I know, because it's hard to pick when it comes to Dragon Ball because everyone's like super bodybuilder ripped. I'm like, I'm not going to get to that level unless I'm roided out, but I could do his personality. He's obnoxious. That's easy. I'm the king of obnoxiousness. Anyway, and in last part of the news, I've been playtesting this game called Crosswind on Steam. It's an alpha right now. It's projected to release sometime in 2026, probably year Q4 of the year. It's basically Conan meets Ark with pirates. So you start off as a pirate. You're stranded on any random seed beached island, and you have to start building your base. And you have a bunch of quests. Like one of your main quests is you have to find pieces of a pirate map to piece together so you can go infiltrate a pirate fortress or whatever. And it's a survival game. And the combat, okay, right now it's a 7. For the geek standards, I give it a 3 out of 5 because it's an alpha. It is an alpha. The combat, it reminds me of Dark Souls combat in the sense of you have to think. You can't just go in there willy-nilly like in Ark or Conan, just bang, 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 bang. No, you attack 3 times, step back, guard, and then dodge, either left, right, or back, or you can dodge forward if you want. Because the NPCs will fucking hurt you. Like the dodos or the boars or even the zombies. They will kill you really quickly if you're not geared or if you don't have the correct amount of food buffs. So I just published on our channel, for the Geeks channel, a couple hours ago, my 2.5 hour playthrough of the playtest. So you can hear me making my commentary on the game, but the combat needs a bit of work. It's supposed to be free to play, and people are speculating it'll be free, pay to win, which I hope it's not. I hope it's cosmetic because it's really easy just to make money with cosmetics and shit from games like Conan, because Conan isn't pay to win and all of the DLC is just different weapons and gear and cosmetics. It doesn't necessarily give you an edge because the base game has its own, end game gear that is equivalent to the DLC. It just has different looks and skins and items and shit. So it's not that's not pay to win at all. Same with Ark and what have you with its DLC. I think it has DLC. I don't know. I haven't played it in
Ark doesn't have like that kind of
it has an expansion, Scorched Earth. That's right.
Most of the meta in Ark comes from your tames anyways, depending on what map you play. Each map has a specific tame that is probably your best, and most of the time it's the Giga. But not always the Giga, depending on what map.
But it's fun, and the only thing I hope they add is ship customization, because as soon as you get to a certain point in the game, they're like, call your ship. Okay, I press K and my boat just appears. I'm like, I didn't build this. Where did I get a ship from? And you're able to sail between islands, and you can create fast travel points. Which the fast travel point, you don't teleport. Technically, you're sailing off screen, and you just arrive there. So it's like, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, to be fair, isn't fast travel most of the time implied to be that you travel and you just don't go through the journey of it? Like in fucking Skyrim or whatever, like you're going by foot and you've walked all this way and now you're there.
Shut up. Yeah, I forgot.
That's the implication,
the time, and the time flashes forward too. But
that's more like fucking Metal Gear.
No, because it does that in Skyrim. Because when you go from point A to point B, the time goes with you as well. Like it doesn't like stay at 12 o'clock. Yeah, because it's actual travel. So yeah, it's entertaining. I don't plan to play it anymore because it's an alpha and I got my play out of it. It does have multiplayer. It's PvPvE, and the ship combat looks good. The only issue is I don't have the ship yet, but the only issue is you can't like see your crew members, which is kind of weird. You're just at the helm shooting cannons and stuff, and there's no like NPCs at the cannons. They're just firing magically, even though there are magical creatures in the game, like zombies.
Not everybody can be fucking Sea of Thieves, you know.
No, that's true. Or this VR game, I don't know the name of it. But yeah, it's a fun game. I hope it becomes successful, and I'll keep a lookout for more games to playtest and demo, because I really like doing that and giving you guys an inside thing on what you're missing because you're not a PC gamer. You should be a PC gamer. Yeah. What? You should shake your head.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's about it for me in terms of catching up and whatever. But since in terms of video games here, I did playtest another video game. I can complain about this.
Ooh.
Chrono Odyssey, the biggest disappointment in MMORPG history, because the hype train basically crashed into a fucking wall as soon as the closed beta test or the open beta test came out.
How so?
It's terrible.
I know that people aren't enjoying their time with it, but what makes the game so disappointing, at least from your perspective? Like, how are you feeling about certain aspects of the game that really didn't live up to whatever this hype was?
So for me, the combat is clunky. The combat is it's not polished, and it's touted as a beta. So I'm disappointed to see the combat the way it is, because you can't animation cancel, which pisses me off, because coming from Black Desert Online, you can animation cancel. In the middle of your animation, you just roll out of the way and you're like, oh, I can't do that. You can't do it in Chrono Odyssey, which is like essential to MMOs, is to animation cancel, or just fighting in general, so you can adjust your fight strategy. It's not in the game. So, and the combat feels really slow. Like, I praise the fact that they nailed the combat for using a greatsword being slow, because that's realistic. It's not like anime greatswords where you can just wing. It feels heavy, but most of the combat is not that great. You are able to weapon swap between two sets of weapons. For example, the warrior class, that's the one I play tested, is you start off with a sword and shield, and you also start off with a greatsword. The more you use them and kill enemies, you level up your usage of the weapon, and you can put in skill points to each skill tree based on the weapon style of your choosing. And the third one was dual swords, which you don't come with. You just have to find a second sword or buy one, and then you can be a dual wielder. The reason why I quit the game preemptively, because once you get to the first actual boss, it feels like a Dark Souls fight, which I thought it wouldn't be bad, but then after going online and seeing that this boss is not intended for a melee class to beat, it really pissed me off. Why would you scrutinize or design your NPC to shit on melee characters where the range can just stand back and kite the shit out of it and instantly win? And now you can argue, get good and whatever, but as a first boss, it shouldn't be as hard as the fucking Dark Souls fat fuck in the first game if you don't know what the hell you're doing. For an MMO, no, that doesn't belong in here. That's way too difficult. And that
first Dark Souls boss wasn't that bad. Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 2 started the trend of the first boss being nearly unbeatable.
Well, that's if you come from, did you play Demon Souls before Dark Souls 1?
Demon Souls, I had trouble with the first one.
Oh, okay.
But Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls game wasn't like
that was my fucking first game, and I fucking hated it. I'm like, I can't do this shit. I died like 10
Demon
times.
Souls also came out on PS3, and did what it could with the technology. So it's like,
Yeah, But anyway, no, that one is severely lacking. They need to fix that. Some more pros though. Character customization was great. It's a Korean game, so of course it's great. They're like the kings of character customization. Next to Skyrim with mods like the race menu or the enhanced character editor. Open world, it's large and seamless. I like that, but I don't like the fact that there's Assassin's Creed towers there. It pisses me off. The fact that you have to go find this building and then it acts as a fast travel beacon between places. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sick of games just using the system after seeing it so much in Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. Like, and then in what the hell was that game we didn't like before with the girl that had that too? Remember the Square Enix game that failed? With the girl, Forspoken. Yeah, that had it too, and I'm like, oh god, yeah, I don't need this radio tower shit. It's so annoying. Other than that, the exploration was neat. Yeah, you could parkour too, which is good.
There's definitely unique ways to go about that whole like watchtower, fucking clock tower, radio tower / whatever tower situation. I don't think a lot of people really nail it on the head. I agree. I think it's very overused concept, but there's so many ways that you can make it unique, you know?
I wouldn't mind if it wasn't a key feature in revealing the map. That is the only way you're able to really reveal the map is by touching the altar, and then it's like, ooh, look, here's more part of the map. Why can't I just go out and discover it and then just use this as a teleportation thing? I don't need the thing to show it for me, you know?
Yeah. Even with POIs, like there's also other ways instead of having to roll through your like map to find specific POIs and entice you to go there. You could create something in game, and I get it's in beta still, so maybe there's something they'll change about it later on. But like, you can have something happen, like some sort of like scripted event start when you enter a certain area that kind of turns you in a direction and kind of pushes your character to go explore, to go try and be more creative in how you move around a map. Especially if there's like a parkour system and something that encourages that kind of movement and kind of gets you to that point where you want to be like moving constantly and do stuff instead of just being what's the word, handheld or force fed like the information. It's like, here, go find it. And that's like just like how Elden Ring, it's built in a way that encourages you to go explore. It encourages you to take that risk of walking somewhere and figuring out what the hell's in front of you, because you don't know what's over there and you can't possibly tell unless you go by yourself.
The only thing that's an issue with the exploration is, like, the con of this is it has the same system or the similar system that Hitman Absolution has, which is you press a button, a beacon effect goes out that's like it's like a radio sweep or whatever, and it shows you where to go in your quest, because you can't fucking figure it out for yourself. You got to hit a button and follow this glowy trail like you're playing fucking Fable all over again. I'm sick of games doing that shit. It was fine in Hitman Absolution because you're playing on lower difficulties, so you want to see where the enemies are, because that you can't use it in the highest difficulty. I would know because I played it on the highest difficulty. That's what I do in stealth games. Fuck you all. Only stealth games I play the hardest difficulty. I'll play normal first, and then I'll play the hardest just to prove I can do it with maximum failure. But yeah, I don't like that kind of guidance system in there. That's dumb. Multiplayer stuff, it's fine. It's kind of generic. You know, it didn't really feel special. The fact that there were like all these towns and tons of people running around everywhere. I'm like, nothing really stood out to me. It seemed normal. I don't think you can sell your gear, so that's an L. I don't like MMOs that don't allow you to sell shit for gold. Like, you have to find other means to
being able to run your own economy is very helpful in those kinds of games.
Yeah.
You'd be like, Brooks loves to pick up everything and anything in a game and like runs around and then goes to, buy equipment, like, but sells everything he found.
Yep. Yeah.
And he makes a shit ton of money from it. It is a good system.
Yeah.
And like when it comes to that like guidance system, like there's again, let me phase out to another game and say, like, there's other ways to make that thing unique. Ghost of Tsushima like did the thing where when you needed to figure out where you were going, the wind moved in the direction, and you could see the small effects of the wind and like
that's a great
from
detail.
Like plants and flowers like kind of floating in a way, and it's just like, okay, I need to head that way.
Yeah.
Sure, it was on the map, but you didn't have to go into your map to find it. You just swipe up on your tap or on your touchpad or whatever the control is on the keyboard. I actually don't know.
Me either.
But you do that, and then all of a sudden, whoo, wind, and you're like, okay, the wind flows that way, and you know, there's definitely it's hard to see games try to do certain things these days when there's other games that have put in the effort to make uniqueness exist in the space. Where they've gone above and beyond to be creative about how you approach stereotypical and boring aspects of a game.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of. Oh yeah, it's like yellow paint. I hate that shit in games. I know my friend, I know Jose loves the yellow paint because he's that kind of gamer that needs the because he loves linearity. You know, we've talked about this. For those of you who don't know, my friend Jose, he likes what works, which is linearity in video games. He wants his handheld. He doesn't want to have to brain it up and be like, where the fuck do I need to go? And stand there for an hour figuring out that he just needs to go to the right. I, on the other hand, and other people like that sandbox feel or sand park feel that I can go wherever the fuck I want because, sure, I have this direction, but I'm going to go do all these other things and then figure out what I'm going to do with this direction later. But yeah. And there's and another thing that the game I give a pro to, it could possibly be a future con, is there's no pay to win. The dev himself, or one of the devs themselves, in an interview, I just saw the video circulating the internet of this guy being interviewed, of one of the devs being interviewed, saying that yes, the game will not be pay to win whatsoever. All purchases, all microtransactions will be based around cosmetics only, or pay for convenience in terms of like maybe you need an extra stash space or whatever in your inventory.
I love stash spaces in Path of Exile.
Yeah, and so that's not pay to win at all. That's pay for convenience because you don't really need that extra space. I didn't when I played Diablo 3, but I had like 5 different tabs open or whatever the max limit was, all full of items I'm never going to use again. So
well, you know what? I didn't have that problem in Diablo 3.
You did?
Diablo 3, I didn't. And I had like 6 characters.
Oh, fuck.
I think my stash was very well maintained comparatively to Path of Exile. I don't know why why is Path of Exile inherently more loot heavy?
Because it's a better game.
That's something to talk about, actually.
I don't know, because also like there's a lot less chances for you getting good rares in Path of Exile. Diablo 3, they just shower you in fucking rare loot and whatever. And you're like, maybe I need this, maybe I don't. Path of Exile is like, this is gray, this is blue. Where the fuck are my yellows and oranges? There's nothing here, nothing here. If it's not yellow or orange text in Path of Exile, you don't fucking need it unless you're getting it solely so you can sell it and get the currency. That's all it's for. You don't even bother hanging on to it.
No, but you are right, because like I feel like at least in my time in Path of Exile 2, comparatively to Diablo 3, I pulled so many uniques and legendaries way more often than in Diablo. I feel like Diablo was very streamlined to where you had your sets of uniques that were good enough, and then once you got to a certain point in the game, especially in endgame, you really didn't need anything more than whatever the meta at the time was. Or
you would just wait, stock up your currency, and use the gambling system and hope to fuck you get the correct item or version of the item that you need when you're standing there at that vendor or whatever that allows you to use the Rift currency. And that's how you get your end game gear. Other than that, a lot of the other gear was just crap, and you would just salvage it and use that for enhancing current items or whatever. Or you'd use it for alts, because that's what you do in dungeon crawlers in most games. But overall, my experience with Chrono Odyssey with the For the Geeks podcast rating system, I give it a 2 out of 5. It was very disappointing. super hyped up, and it just went to shit. And I'm like, this was not what I was expecting whatsoever. But I played it because it's an MMO for you fuckers, and you can't get mad at me because I actually played this game. I know I have a habit of not playing games and creating an opinion, but for MMOs, I'll do it. Unless it's a VR MMO. I don't want to bother with virtual reality MMOs yet.
Wow.
Yeah. Which I know, like, one of them like went free to play, and I'm like, oh god, great, you ruined your model. Let's see what else. Speaking of other games, great game news: Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox with crossplay. I know people are gonna love that. They hope for a fucking Master Chief crossover. That'd be cool if he made his way into the game. I don't know if that would happen, but that would be nice. I haven't played Helldiver. It looked cool from the beginning, but then I'm like, this is just the same shit over and over. You just drop, you kill a bunch of aliens, and you leave. This is an extraction game, right? Without PvP, it's just like squad-based extraction.
No, not all kind of. It kind of is an extraction game, but it's
because you're just getting in there, killing aliens, and leaving, right?
Not in the way. What do you call it? Not in the way that you think of extraction shooters nowadays. Extraction shooters nowadays, you think of things like Escape from Tarkov or Arc
Mecha
Raiders
Break, even now,
or Mecha Break, where you go into a zone, do your mission or do whatever, but you're going in to find loot and stuff and then go away.
Oh yeah, you don't get loot in Helldiver.
Helldivers 2 is more of a you drop in, you do the job, and then you get out with your team alive. It is for all intents and purposes an extraction game at its most core base.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the most layman explanation
in the most broad sense. But it is definitely not an extraction shooter. It is definitely more of a team arcade-based team shooter where you go around and do some crazy shit, and it's not the easiest game.
Yeah. I don't know. It just didn't stand out to me. Like, first of all, I didn't know anyone that played it, and then when I did know people, well,
I played it all the time
on console. Wait, I'm losing my train
of thought. I played it on console and on PC. What are you talking about? I had both. I was so sold on Helldivers 2 when it first came out and so like enraptured with it that I bought it twice. I bought it for PC and I bought it for PlayStation. I bought it on PlayStation first and then I played it on PC.
Well, you know what? Whatever. I forgot what I was going to say. It's not my kind of game. When I saw my kind of game is more Space Marine 2, which I still need to play, but I'd rather play the first one, not the definitive edition, because apparently that one's terrible according to reviews. So I already have the original Space Marine. I will play that, and then I'll buy Space Marine 2 when that goes on sale later in the future, because I need to not. I only bought one video game because the Steam Summer Sale is currently going on until July 10th, which was Repo. Is correct. Because I'm apparently going to be playing this with my friends Jose and Ryan next week, which is ironic considering the conversation I had with my cousin last night, isn't it?
Quite ironic.
Very irony.
Closed mouths don't get fed, motherfucker.
Well, you know what? You got a fucking mouth too. Everyone's got a mouth. I'm not the main mouth.
I play it all the time. You never asked me to play.
I didn't. Well, that's different because
I literally have like 12 friends on speed dial ready to play this game at any moment.
Well, you free next Friday?
We haven't been playing. Yeah, I'm free next Friday.
Well, we're fucking doing it then. No, we're not because you're busy.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, we are. I'm gonna let Jose know then right now.
Oh my god, are we gonna have an actual bro night for once in like a millennia?
Yeah, because we are. Anyway,
I was waiting for that one.
Cock in the balls. Another game news that's big for you Witcher 3 fans. Blood of the Dawnwalker had a game trailer that came out within the last 3 weeks, and it looks sexual as fuck. The combat
that is not the phrase I would have used.
Excrement filled of coom and juices from the male body and female maybe, but mainly the male body because it was cool. And I looked at it and it has directional combat, which I needed clarification on that because I didn't know what the fuck that was. Basically, it's fucking Killer Instinct combat in this game. And what I mean by that is you need to pick where your fucking attacks go to hit the enemy because he could be blocking up here. And if you're striking up here, He's going to counter you. You got to pick here, or here.
A better, I would say a better.
I meant by Killer Instinct because there's three types. There's light, medium, heavy, and if you counter with the wrong light, medium, heavy counter, it won't work, and you're just fucked. And I'm like, I don't know how you can see the iframe where you know your opponent is going to make a light or heavy punch or kick that yes, I'm going to counter with a light counter or a heavy counter. Because if you do anything else, it doesn't do anything. That's what I meant.
I think a better
For Honor?
A better
example of directional combat?
Yeah, a better example of that I think would be For Honor.
I never played it, but yes, that's true.
For Honor, I think, would be a much better example of that in a combat situation, because when you speak about it from Killer Instinct's point of view, it is more of a fighting game. So directional directional
combat. I mean, in the sense of like you need to pick exactly
whatever.
Where your attack should go and time it perfectly. Which The Witcher 3 already
does the same kind of thing too. So that's why I'm saying. Or I think For Honor is a better example of that kind of directional thing where you have to block in a very specific direction against whatever attack is coming. Because you're either not going to block it or be able to parry it, or you're going to get hit.
Yeah. And for the record, this is made by Witcher 3 devs and team members. They created a studio called Rebel Wolves.
Rebel
Wolves.
It was
founded in 2021, and it's about like vampires and shit in the medieval era. I'm not going to spoil much. You can check out the trailers online.
I mean, everyone's seen the trailer.
No,
not the gameplay, obviously, but everybody has to have seen the trailer. Anyone who's sat around and like is invested in video games like we are has watched all of the recent every recent not festival con that's happened and seen has to have seen the trailer.
That's the problem.
Yeah, showcase. That's a better word. Yeah.
What I was gonna say more about the combat is Witcher 3 already had great combat, because when I first played that game, people hyped up, dude, you're gonna love the combat. I'm like, why? I played it. It was the first game I played where I actually, besides shit souls, where I had to think, because usually in games, let's go with Assassin's Creed 1 through 6, probably, where you're fighting like a gang of like 8 NPCs. What happens in those games? You attack one comes after you. What are the other 7 doing? They're jacking off in the corner doing nothing. They're like, ugh. In Witcher 3, you attack one, you're going to have all 7 of them beat the shit out of you from behind. So you have to attack, move. You have to adjust like that. And so seeing exceptional directional combat in Blood of the Dawnwalker, that gets me excited, because I'm like, ooh, okay, this is going to be fun to play in an action game, because I like mix-ups and whatever, because I got better at playing The Witcher 3 when I had to actually think of whatever. I wanted the best armor set, the Ursine armor, because I'm a tank and I'll take all the damage I want and I'll fucking destroy the enemies. I don't do this dodgy bullshit like the School of the Viper or the Cat or whatever. None of that.
Yeah, Viper's dope as shit.
School of the Bear is the best.
Debatable.
But I will replay that at some point in the future, and I'll do every fucking side quest imaginable, because I blew through the story and I don't remember half the story. That's my own fault, because I wanted to get to the next game. And I have a bad habit of that. If
you have The Witcher 3, then you might as well just start doing the mods on it to make it like modern or whatever.
It's already modern.
It's pretty modern, but there are some like mods out there that actually do a good job of adjusting the combat and everything to make it feel a little bit more. My favorite
part of The Witcher 3 has nothing to actually do with Witcher 3. It's this insult battle that Geralt has to talk to a blonde-haired NPC in one of the cities. And it's a deep-ass cut. Unless you grew up with LucasArts games like I did, you're not going to know what the fuck it's referencing. Basically, he's talking to some guy who challenges him to like a duel or whatever, but not with weapons. It's with insults. And that is a direct reference to the Monkey Island game franchise, because when you're doing sword combat in the Monkey Island franchise, it works by insulting the other person. And if you win by having the best insult, you're able to attack them and beat them in combat. It's very corny and funny, but I love that classic kind of humor and whatever. So that's probably that is my favorite part of the whole series. And Blood and Wine DLC was fucking great too. But in other video game news, Neil Druckmann leaves the Last of Us TV show project after season 2 to focus entirely on video game development. So props to him for bringing for doing a most successful first season of The Last of Us, and showing the world that a video game adaptation can be done correctly for the most part, and so that could open the door for other people. So he did a good job with that.
Adaptations by nature, and I will die on this hill fighting everyone and their mother about it because people are too caught up in being, it's not canon. No, like an adaptation is that. It is just that. It is an adaptation. It is not a word for word, straight from the Bible kind of, experience. And that's not what it's planned to be. It's not what it's meant to be, especially when you translate something like a video game into a TV show. My whole thing with that is that, like, there's no way to perfectly translate that into or feasibly translate that into a 30-minute, 1 hour, whatever have you, episodic kind of release. It is the nature of the beast when it reference. Yeah. I was gonna say in referring to, and then I said, oh no, reference is better. I already said refer, so I fucked myself. In reference to those kinds of medias, you need to be able to pull your audience in and keep them there and keep them stuck and hooked in there. But the way that video games are, it's a different kind of hook because you're running through these zones essentially. Like using Last of Us as an example, early in the games, or in the first game, you're running through zones, fighting enemies, sneaking around, doing all this other shit. Things that eat up a lot of that time. That is not just cutscene.
Yeah.
A lot of your story context comes from interactions between those cutscenes during those zones. So you have to try and, you have to find a way to turn those into sequences, into shots, into scenes. And it's difficult because it's not just giving you time with the characters and letting you grow with them. You have to be able to continue along at a good pace. Like, everyone had problems with The Last of Us first season, right? I didn't think it was that bad.
They did?
And everyone, well, at least a lot of the people I knew that played The Last of Us originally and played the game first before they watched the show was like, oh, it's not exactly the same. Ellie's character isn't really how Ellie would be. This and that. Like,
that part gets worse in season 2, but
I have heard about that. I haven't gone back to season 2 yet. I want to, but I just haven't. But I don't think that necessarily that Phar.MC did such a bad job of portraying Ellie in the first season at all.
No, he's fine.
And I think the stories that were given and the things that were changed to make a more compelling story for certain characters in the first season actually worked properly.
Like episode 3, in my opinion, without spoiling it, it is one of the best TV episodes I've ever fucking seen. I didn't expect that to happen because I'm like, oh, I remember this character in the game, kind of. I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, this is more story. Okay.
Yeah, and in the game, like, it's so long ago. If you guys haven't played The Last of Us Part 1 by now,
that's your own damn fault.
You really got to go get on that. But the whole interaction between Bill and Ellie and Joel in the game was to give that background for Joel of who, the kind of person he was before and how he knows people. And it was showing a lot more. Like, you couldn't translate that whole sequence into the show properly the right way. And I think the way that they changed it to show Bill's character more and grow on that character and kind of, be more than just a item you pick up in the world and a note you read at the end of the level, definitely makes it more it makes it easier for audiences to grab a hold of. It gives them an easier entry point into the series to view the characters and to grow the world and show people what it's like living in this apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because you don't get all the time that you get with Joel and Ellie moving around through the cities and getting that information from the contextual conversations they have in game.
See, that reminds me, you giving explaining how the background world works and between certain story beats from the game that's explored in the show. That reminds me heavily of when we go back to the previous episodes where we talk about Andor and how I have always said people need to watch it because this is what's going on in the background of the main 6 movies in Star Wars is this. You need to watch this to understand why this is happening. And so the same goes for the Last of Us TV show. You need to watch this so you get a better understanding and appreciation for what's happening in the game when you go back and play it, if you want to go back and play it. You're like, oh, this makes a lot of sense with this story. Pa-pa-da.
Given Neil Druckmann, like you said, was heavily involved in the TV release. So we can take the episodic nature of the series and look at it as it's kind of looking from a different lens and different viewpoints into the actual story and growing on those core characters and creating more, what do you call it? Sure, it retcons, obviously, because, you know, Joel and Ellie don't actually see Bill and Frank or Bill when they get to his town.
Just a picture, right?
It's retconned in a way that makes it more... Not acceptable, but like more, it makes it more TV worthy. Right? And to be fair, that section of the game was very short in general. It was a little less than an hour or two. No, not even 2. Like it was a little less than an hour and a half or something like that. It was a quick spread through the city, and then you fight the big bad guy, and then that was it. It's done. But other than that, it really wasn't all that bad. But I think that's fine. And I like that he's stepping away to go work on, what is it? Intergalactic? Is that what it's called? I can't remember.
I think so. I don't remember either. But yeah, that's good. He can go back to working on all that good stuff. We need a new Jack and Daxter, please. That would be nice because, you know, it'd be good.
I don't think Naughty Dog will ever go back to Jack and Daxter, honestly. They're too far they're too forward in the game right now to go back to that kind of thing, you know.
Oh well.
There's no way. There's no fucking way.
It'd be peak. But speaking of things not happening anymore, I'm trying to find a segue for this. Just the theme of leaving in general. The Perfect Dark reboot is canceled.
Yep.
The studio was shut down amongst Xbox layoffs of 9,000 people or something.
A little over, I think, something like that. It was about 4% of Microsoft's total employee
that's
base.
But
massive... 9,000 people, and at least 50% of that was, at least 50% of that was from the Xbox gaming division.
I was looking forward
to cut, lots of people without jobs, lots of bullshit.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to the reboot because I didn't get to play much of the original. I mainly played the multiplayer like everyone did, and local co-op like GoldenEye days where you just run around and shoot people, red and blue colored characters. I barely played Perfect Dark Zero. I don't remember any of it. I don't know if it was good or bad.
Okay.
It was entertaining for me as a kid because I'm like, it's here, so why not? But on the Xbox 360,
it was okay because it was a Perfect Dark game, and at the time, it was an era where we wanted Perfect Dark, you know, or an era close enough that we were like, oh, we loved Perfect Dark. But
it's a shame that had to be canceled mid-production, just like
I think.
What?
Oh no, I was gonna say I think that even though, you know, studios get cut, things happen. They're cutting for whatever reason, focusing. Phil Spencer's words in loose translation, where we're focusing on our system, or not systems, on our games and all of the projects we're working on. All of the projects that we believe have the best turnover for us, essentially, is what he said. Things that they think can grow, the projects they think are going to really work for Xbox in the ecosystem it has now and in the life that it's leading now.
Yeah, so unless the call for Perfect Dark was massive, it probably wasn't going to do very good, at least in his eyes, which is probably why he canceled it. Because he's like, people want this, but I don't know if it's wanted enough to warrant profit for continuing the project, which is understandable. It's a business decision, but it's unfortunate. Just like I didn't know much about the other game. Everwild was canceled. That I know.
Yeah,
I know
that's
people
ZeniMax.
were looking forward to that too.
That was
Rare.
ZeniMax on that
Rare. It's Rare.
Not Rare. Sorry, Rare.
Yeah.
But there was also folks at ZeniMax Online that
they had
were
an
working
MMO
on a
coming
new
out
MMO and
in the Elder Scrolls
nothing.
universe, I think. Yeah.
And
nothing.
just nothing out of it now because it's canceled and people laid off.
Bucker.
Somebody made a joke earlier about like half the studio was getting laid off and now they're the Forza Horizon studio. 50% of their staff got laid off as well.
Oh,
so it's like
man.
Most likely what everyone assumes. Here's the thing is that what everyone assumes is that Horizon, because Forza Horizon does well in numbers, because it's easily accessible as a racing game for arcades and normies and whatever. People are speculating right now that Forza Motorsport is going to get cut off completely and they're going to lose the hardcore sim racing kind of
which is also unfortunate because I like that one too. I like both.
Well, it's what started the whole thing. It's just like, damn, dude, people really just don't care about really good sim games anymore.
And if they do, it's very niche, like a Seger Crucero or Project Cars on Steam, where it has a small play, or F1 small player base, popular but small player base. Unlike the Forza franchise, which I remember when I first got Forza 1 and 2, I was like looking on Amazon, I was saving money because I'm like, I want the Ultimate Edition so I can get the McLaren F1 and all this other shit and go rate because that's my favorite car. I'll never have it. I don't have $15 million to buy one, nor do I know how to drive one. But it was cool to see that, and I was even more ecstatic when Forza Horizons 2 came to PC. I don't think the first one didn't come to PC. But the second one did. I'm like, oh, there's open world. Oh, you can get the fucking Warthog that Master Chief drives. Oh, I can pimp out, my car and shit and make it look like the Nissan Skyline R34 from Fast and Furious, Too Fast and Furious, my favorite tuner car ever, or the Supra from the first one. Yeah, I love that shit. So it's a shame that, for the original Forza might die, but that's unfortunately how things are going. Not that many people want to play that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing that sucks the most about these, obviously, people losing their jobs. But I think the thing that strikes me as strange enough, the other day, I think yesterday, not yesterday, Thursday, one of the devs from the initiative that was working on the Perfect Dark game reboot, they were saying that they were level designer and that everything that was shown in that tech demo last year of in-engine stuff was, for the most part, and I say that with maybe like an 85 percentile correctness because I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but most of the stuff that was shown off in that demo was basically spot on for how the game ran. And all that stuff could work. He said that, and this was like a post on Twitter from him after the layoffs happened and everything, and he was just fuming the upsetness or venting out the upsetness of like working on this project and getting it to a point where it was working and then losing everything. Same thing with Everwild. The people worked on it for like 7 years and now what? 7 years for nothing? All that money wasted. 7 years?
Fuck.
Yeah. From 2018, I believe it was started. But all that Perfect Dark stuff was working, was physically working in engine. Like everything you saw in the game you could do it. The combat was better in the way that they showed it in there, but you could do it in any way you wanted. It was still running. And that's the thing I think that really grinds my gears about it. Is just like you've basically got a completed project almost. You've got a project that is working and running and just needs to get its finishing touches, get fine-tuned, whatever. The level's completed and everything. How do you just step out and say, we're just going to cut the games? Is it really that much less of an expense to the company's costs if you do that, as opposed to just doing it, just putting it out and making what you can off of it and trying to salvage something on a bounce back? Wasn't there like
another game that had that like within the last 5 to 10 years? I don't remember. Like, I remember there was a game that was basically finished, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to release it. There's been a lot. We canceled.
There's been a lot of that. There was the canceled Wonder Woman game, but that one wasn't even as close.
That's right. We talked about that last year.
Yeah, there was quite a few other things that were almost complete. It unfortunately happens a lot, but like it's weird.
Yeah.
It's a terrible choice. I don't think it was the best thing to do, especially in a time when Microsoft was hitting all-time highs on all sorts of different things. They were up. They were on the up and up on their stocks, on revenue. Like they just reported a above mark revenue earnings on their last call. It just baffles
and
me.
Now they're coming out with a handheld
on an all-time
what?
On an all-time high, when you're transitioning into the way that you want, the only way to keep Xbox gaming afloat is to cut all of these studios and cut all of these workers. It doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Neither does EA. EA doesn't make sense either, because apparently, like I saw like a video of like the CEO takes a bigger cut than any of the fucking workers that make money. They make like the shittiest amount of money possible within the last like couple years or whatever, and the CEO's just like, yeah, I got more money. This fuck that company. My God.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's into them. It's the worst publishing company ever.
Everywhere.
And they won't.
Did you hear
what?
I don't know. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and they won't let. They're very anal about giving people the okay to make Star Wars games, because they have a tight grip on Star Wars games. You see, like Ubisoft tried, and there's like, no, that didn't work. Any other company, they're just like, oh, you sure you did? Like, fuck off. Jeez, give the rights away to some other company that knows what the hell they're doing. Like Respawn.
I mean, Respawn is an EA subsidiary, but
unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, they know what they're doing, but still, like, another publisher should take over. But then that's not going to happen. What were you going to say?
Oh, they were yesterday, or I'm sorry, Thursday. I keep forgetting yesterday was a holiday.
That's right. Fuck.
Thursday, one of the heads of EA that is working on the Battlefield 6 project says that they envision Battlefield to be this huge game with a huge following, and it's going to have like 100 million players.
Oh yeah, I saw. I'm like, that's a huge fucking stretch. 100 million, my ass. Sir,
100 million on a normal shooter after a failed battle royale, which was Firestorm. Let me get the one.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
After a failed battle royale system on a game that nobody plays.
Nope.
That is inhabited by 50% hackers and 50% real people dealing with those hackers.
Yep.
That barely cut 20 million? I think around 20 million, 22 million maybe. I can't remember the exact number. You're telling me, and devs agree. They all agreed. Even people working in the game agreed, said, hey, that is an unsubstantiated number, sir. But this dude stood by it and said 100 million. It's like, dude, it took Warzone, I don't know, anywhere from like 2 to 3 years to get to 100 million players, and that's Call of Duty. Call of Duty, there's no Battlefield versus Call of Duty fight anymore.
No,
it's only Call of Duty at this point.
Yeah.
You guys dropped that ball a long time ago, and that's fine, because having a small community is good, and you would give love to that community, and you would make the best possible game for that community. No, you didn't. You made Battlefield 2042. It was fucking terrible.
Oh God, I was so disappointed in that when I played the beta. I couldn't fucking play. It was like me and Kevin playing it, and we're like, we can't move because it's so laggy. Like, what the fuck kind of beta test was that? It was dog shit. Yeah. Oh God, I stopped playing.
There's no way. There's no way you get 100 million.
It pisses me off because I'm a big Battlefield fan. I've played Battlefield since the original fucking release on PC. I love that shit. You know what would fucking save them? Remake the first game. Don't change any of the mechanics, or do like what fucking Bethesda did. Not Bethesda. Technically, it was another company that did Oblivion. Port it over to your new engine. Yeah, there you go. To your new engine, change nothing. Bam, it's perfect. They're not going to do that. I stopped playing Battlefield after Battlefield 4 because Battlefield 5 was mid, Hardline was mid. Actually, no. And then
I liked Hardline, actually. And then it wasn't great, but I liked it for the cops versus robbers thing.
Yeah. And I picked up Battlefield 1 because I'm like, oh, I haven't actually played a World War I game. This is cool. I liked it. And then I got bored after about a couple months of playing. And I'm like, all right, we need to go back to World War II and go back to some of the basics. And yeah, That's
and
where they need
they
to go.
Did go back to they went back to the good old days of that era, but it just wasn't enough even then.
No, it wasn't. I love, that's why I love playing Battlefront. I love big, massive war type games like that because I love the original Battlefield, and my favorite is probably 3
right now.
Oh yeah, Battlefront 2.
It's on sale.
My favorite is still Battlefront 3. I love it to death. I love Battlefield 4, but Battlefield 3 is still my favorite for some reason.
You said Battlefront on that one.
Yeah. I also played Bad Company 1 and 2. Those are obviously the best ones with the story because they were ridiculous and it was fun. Mm-hmm. But I hope Battlefield 6 is good. I know apparently there was a 10-minute there was a leak of the game. It got taken down off of Twitter. I had it linked on VGC, but the Twitter video was taken down. It basically showed like a new rush mode or whatever, which I'm like, okay, this is fine. I don't mind this at all. It looked cool. I'm like, all right, I have some hope, but
some hope.
Yeah, some hope. But yeah, I saw recently, like a couple days ago, that the game might not be like what we expected. Might be delayed because they had to cut out like a massive portion of the campaign because they're saying that the campaign is going to be really good, but they're like, oh, we might have to chop the campaign down to 10 hours instead of 20 or whatever. And I'm just like, oh, great. Yeah, because it's been a while. It's rare to have a good FPS campaign because all you're doing is shooting people. Yeah, nobody really cares about the story. I stopped caring about the Call of Duty story after Modern Warfare 2. I don't even remember it, but I don't play those games for the story.
The Modern Warfare remakes did a good job of keeping that true core of the campaign story being the forefront of them. I would go back and play it if they weren't so fucking expensive.
Yeah. You have to. Yeah. Well, I can breeze over. Damn it, we'll probably talk about this next one. I'll just mention it here. The Stop Killing Games movement. That's a pretty big video game movement that's happening only in the UK and the EU. Americans can't vote on the petition. Basically, it's trying to stop companies from killing games by creating an end of life contingency, as they call it. So, for example, Anthem is going down, and it's not going to come back online. So, what this movement is supposed to be
Were there that many people playing Anthem? Let's be real here, though.
No, but games in general that are live service or whatever, or just have online capabilities, like for example Halo 2 even, this movement is to stop companies so that they can create a contingency plan to keep servers open and have some type of support and updates while focusing on other games. That way the core fans that paid money for a license can still play it and not log in and be greeted with a message saying the servers are offline, you can no longer play it. Like when I tried to play Need for Speed Shift 2 a long time ago, the servers went offline. I'm like, well, I wasted my money because I can't fucking do shit in here. And yeah, I totally agree with that movement, but we'll get into that in more detail next episode.
I just to glaze over it real quick. I think it's impractical to say get servers specifically built to keep live service or whatever online necessary games working in some small capacity. I don't think it's feasible. I think it's a bad business practice.
But you can give it to people.
I think that giving an option for private servers hosted by whatever, a person, a computer that you have, that should be implemented. I think that should be a thing. That works
all the time.
That should 100% be a thing no matter what. So if the actual official servers go offline, you can still run things with your friends if you guys actually want to play it.
Like I'm currently playing Arc Rage, which is a private server of Arc Age after it went down last year, and it's been online forever. I have always played private server games, whether they be MMOs or just multiplayer games in general. Like even the original Battlefield has a bunch of private servers that aren't maintained by EA at all, or and DICE. None of that. It's the people, which is great. Give it to the people. Let us take care of it. We want to play our games. It's a small community. Let it happen. You're gonna get money by selling the private servers anyway. So might as well make some cash and whatnot.
Exactly.
to speed this up, because I know you got to go, a couple other quick announcements. Cyberpunk Edge Runner Season 2 was announced. The creator promised, prepare to be sad again. I'm like, fuck. We're going to be all sad and depressed, just like the first
Rumors
season.
is this darker and sadder than the first season. Sadder, I could accept. Darker feels like a mixed bag phrasing to me, because it's like,
yes.
First one, I don't know. I just feel like the Cyberpunk series in general is dark, so that's baseline. So like getting darker than dark, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Darkness within darkness, as Ansem would say in Dream Drop Distance. Terrible. No, that was in Dream Drop Distance. Terrible game. Mushoku Tensei Season 3 teaser comes out tomorrow at Anime Expo. That should be great. Yeah. That's a really good isekai. I highly recommend checking it out. It's a tough handle in the beginning, but I liked it. Another thing to breeze through, Michael Bay is returning for another Transformers film, which is great. He's the king of explosions and some of the best CGI ever created, i.e. Megatron is the greatest piece of CGI ever created. And it's the most, next to Gollum, because it's the most taxing one, and it made computers fucking explode when it had to render. And other news, Warner Games splits into a company based on focusing on Harry Potter. Yeah. It's based on Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones divisions. So that's good. They're focusing more on, grouping instead of just being all over the map. So that should be fun.
We'll see how it turns out. Well, we have yet to see the fruition of said things. Like, sure, Harry Potter's doing good, but I don't know about the Game of Thrones stuff. We'll see. They haven't been successful yet. This new RTS coming out might be good.
It looks
I don't know.
All right.
We'll see. It looks all right, but we'll have to figure it out when we get more information on it, I guess. We don't have a lot to go on right now.
No. And
even rumor wise, like, there's not much.
Yeah. There's more, but I'm not going to mention it. I'll save that for next week or whenever the hell my cousin's free.
Yeah, next week's fine.
That's it for us here today. Episode 37 again on July 5th. Happy late 4th to y'all in America.
Wow.
Here with Oos. Yeah. Red, white, and brown. No, I'm just kidding.
that felt wow.
No. But thank you guys for listening and watching. You better have been watching. We have a Patreon. It only costs $1 patreon.com/forthegeeks. You get pre-roll footage of us just shooting the shit 5 to 10 minutes before I hit the record button. You also get access to the audio, which is I'm going to upload it right the fuck now after I hit end on the recording. 3 days or 3 to 5 days earlier, because I post this on YouTube or on platforms at 12 p.m. Pacific, and the video goes up as well. It's only $1. Yeah. You can find our channel stuff on Twitch for the Geeks. We haven't been on Twitch in a while. Twitch.com for the Geeks games. Yeah,
we'll get back to streaming on the actual ones sometime.
The Twitter, I don't even bother with it because I have too many Twitters as it is available. I don't need to add more. Our Instagram for the Geeks with 2 S's. You can check that out. I'm always posting either video news by talking in the stories to the camera so you guys can listen, or posting information on the posts or the reels, get us some views and stuff. And which I need to do for Crosswind. I don't have any funny moments, but we'll see.
Roll through it. You might find a couple of funny things.
And if you want to find me, on social media, you can find me at Seger Plays on Twitch, on Twitter. I will be streaming tonight. Finally, the first time in a while, I'll be doing Arc Rage as well as Oblivion, so I can So I want to blaze through Oblivion Remastered, so I can play my first JRPG in a while. Since I stopped playing Final Fantasy X because I got bored of the grind, I'll pick that up eventually. Tales of Zestiria, which I was recommended by my cousin here. Yeah, that's the one you recommended.
I thought you were doing Vesperia.
No, you said Zesty.
I said go back Vesperia
I'll
or
check
Berseria.
The thing. I don't have.
I said Berseria or Vesperia.
I'm going with Zesty. I'm going with Zesty.
I said not Zesty. Zesty was not great. Zesty was okay.
Well, I have
Zesty was just okay. Check the messages. Go back to the receipts. I got them too.
All right, we'll check that out. But yeah,
it was Vesperia.
I got a JRPG craving for some fucking reason. I want to play that. So yeah, you can check me out at Seger
Less of a JRPG, more of a Kingdom Hearts kind of.
That's fine. And on Instagram as well. Or Seger VFX. That's my personal photography one as well. Where can they find you, John?
On Twitch at Yo-Yo Ninja Boy. YLYO. I don't need to spell it. You can put it in the thing.
Yeah.
You can find me there.
You can find the links
me on
down
Instagram
below.
at Yo-Yo Desu. And maybe on the For the Geeks streaming stuff. I'm trying to do my own stuff first. That way I can make it work. But there's a lot. There's a lot going on. We'll get back to doing more stuff. I actually had some ideas about other things for the channel that I wanted to do, but we'll keep that under blanket for now until it gets a little bit more talking about, because I think it could be really cool for us. But yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching.
Guys. Yes, thank you. We'll see you next time. And remember,
yep,
game like you mean it. Booby lips.